Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of Around the Sound Sports. My name is Ben Ray, your local sports reporter here in Federal Way, Kent, Auburn, and Renton. On this episode of Around the Sound Sports, we'll feature some soccer, we'll feature some fast pitch, and it's the spring, so we'll always have some baseball in there. Thank you to everyone for their continued support on this channel. Please remember to subscribe on this YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at Around the Sound Sports Pod. Be sure to like and comment on those videos. We'll keep posting those every week, as we will post these videos every week as the spring season continues here across Washington State. We'll start on Tuesday, where Auburn took on Mount Rainier on the soccer pitch, and it was a big game for Auburn. They're looking to develop some momentum and a playoff push, but Mount Rainier showed their quality and class and shut out Auburn, winning 3-0. Freshman Amir Hemon of Mount Rainier scored a hat trick for the Rams. A really impressive performance, scored on like his second touch of the game. Mount Rainier scored 2 goals in the first half and really put Auburn on their heels. And here's head coach Skylar Rohr on the start of the game for the Trojans.
I feel like we've come out a little bit flat, but, it's difficult. I thought the 2 goals we give up are definitely preventable, which is unfortunate, but I guess it's better than saying that, there's nothing we could do about them, right? So, I just think they kind of wanted a little bit more. They're the better team on the day. Just kind of the way it goes sometimes.
As far as the second half is concerned, Auburn played a much better second half, especially the second half of that second half. They were able to create chances. They put a lot of pressure on the Mount Rainier defenders, especially Nolan Carrillo. He was the guy kind of forcing the issue on the defensive side of the field for Auburn. And here is Rohr talking about the Carrillo and that final 10 minutes where Auburn was really able to create some good chances on the attacking side of the field.
Definitely a sign of positive things, right? I think we created a little bit more in the second half in those last 10, and I think we're definitely a super capable team. I just don't know if we're not always willing to show it. Sometimes it just kind of takes a little bit of us getting excited for a game, and it's kind of hard. It just feels like sometimes we're real excited and real eager, and sometimes we're just kind of okay with playing a game. And today kind of felt like one of those days, just kind of okay playing and not super excited for it. For Sharp, he's a technical player, and he's been pretty good for us this season and seasons past as well. But I think this season he's definitely flourished a little bit more and shown that he can kind of create his own chances. And
Auburn ended up losing this game and were shut out 3-0, but they were able to beat and shut out Kent Ridge in their next game last week. And on Saturday, they take on Kennedy, and then they continue their NPSL play against Kentwood on April 28th before playing Tahoma and Stadium to close out the regular season. And now we'll head to Wednesday, where Liberty took on Interlake on the fast pitch diamond and continued their hot play as of late, winning 10-1 over the Saints. Liberty has been cruising these past couple of seasons, especially since their last loss in April of last season. They have gone 26-1 over their last 27 games. It's been an impressive run, and here's head coach Junha talking about the success of this group.
Do we have the same kind of power we did have last year? No.
Right. Yeah.
But we seem to be getting the ball in, playing when we need to. Like today, we bunted real well. We were pretty aggressive and smart on the base pass. Right? So yeah.
In a smaller sample size, Isabella Rocky has been unbelievable at the plate for the Patriots. In her past 5 games, she's 15 for 16. That's a .938 batting average. She has 4 home runs, 18 RBIs, and 15 runs scored, along with a double and a triple. She was fantastic against Interlake. She had that triple. She was thrown out at home trying to stretch it to an inside the park home run. But the one out that she has recorded over that stretch was a strikeout against the Saints, and it was her first strikeout of the year as well. But a lot of success for the Patriot 3-hole hitter. And here's Rocky talking about her success at the plate these past couple of weeks.
Confidence-wise, I try to always go up to the box thinking that I'm better than the pitcher. Might not be true, but that helps me to feel confident about myself. I put in a lot of work on the tee, center toss with my swing, so I just got to trust my swing.
Avery Hutt was fantastic in the circle against the Saints, as she has been all season for Liberty. And she goes 5 innings. She gives up 2 hits. She struck out 11 in 5 innings against Interlake, and here is her dad, June, talking about her success in the circle this season.
It's been good to see, right? I mean, she's always been, for the most part, one of the primary pitchers, but she hasn't had to take that leadership role. Like last year, you had Emmy and Kyla take that role. So she's done a real good job, even at practice.
On Thursday, we'll head to Cheney Stadium, as a matter of fact, where Auburn Mountain View took on the Trojans of Auburn in a rivalry renewed, rejuvenated. As they're no longer league opponents. They have to play each other in non-league games, and especially when you can play at Cheney Stadium, that is a special place to play a baseball game. Auburn Mountain View took full advantage and won 10-0 over the Trojans. I said it was a rivalry renewed, kind of a one-sided rivalry when it's 10-0. And here's senior Imani Brown talking about being able to play Auburn at Cheney Stadium and how much of a rivalry that game really is.
There's 2 years of high school, they've been our rivals, and we've gotten to play them twice every year. We haven't had that opportunity this year, but to be able to come out here and play against our rival, not feel like this, and to do that to them, it just felt great. That's definitely something that I'm going to remember for a long time.
On the bump, Jace Yost was fantastic for head coach Austin Simpson. He goes 5 innings. He gives up just 1 hit. He struck out 5 Auburn hitters. And here's head coach Austin Simpson talking about his left-handed starting pitcher.
Incredible to give him the opportunity to be here and pitch in a place like this. It's special and against a rival school. He showed out, and he showed us why he pitched today, why I put him on.
Auburn Mountain View's offense was fantastic against the Trojans. They recorded 4 doubles. Imani Brown had a pair of them. But the offense was doing what it was supposed to. They scored 1 run in the first to get going. They scored 4 in the second, 4 in the third, and 1 in the 5th inning for the mercy roll over the Trojans. And here's Brown talking about how good it is to see his offense clicking at this point in the year.
It just felt great, especially, coming up. We got some tough series against Decatur. So to warm up the bats like that and be able to do that and feel confident going into the next few series, that's definitely what we needed. So I'm glad we were able to do that.
For Auburn Mountain View, there's some big series coming up on the season schedule to close out the season. They're locked in a series against Decatur right now, the league leaders. They lost game 1, 8-5. They take on Kent Lake in their next series and then finish the year with Thomas Jefferson, who's in the mix for the playoffs. And here's Brown talking about how this team can make that next step and continue their playoff.
Take what we were doing there. We just had a lot more energy than what we've had. Bouncing back from getting swept by White River. That's just the kind of energy we're going to need. And I'm really glad that we were able to play like that.
And now we'll head to Friday, and we'll stay on the baseball field, and we'll go out to Thomas Jefferson to see the Raiders take on Federal Way in a crosstown rivalry matchup. And Thomas Jefferson wins game 1 of the series against Federal Way, 8-2 over the Eagles. It's 3 wins in a row for Thomas Jefferson, which is big because they had lost 4 out of 5 coming into a series against Kent Meridian. They're able to win those games and now take on Federal Way, and that momentum has carried over as they win by 6 runs against the Eagles. And here's head coach Harold Adams just talking about this team's ability to continue to focus on the game in front of them and not get too high or too low.
Yeah, we went through a little bit of a stretch where we lost a couple games, but I really like how they responded. We had a couple games where we lost the first game and won the second. So I think, it's really important to me to see how they respond to adversity. And
on the bump for Thomas Jefferson was Uzziah Maldonado Manzo, who might not have had his A stuff, might not have had his B stuff, but was able to get out of trouble. He got out of a bases loaded jam. He got out of 2 runners on. And he's just able to do enough to hold Federal Way to just 2 runs. And that was the difference for Thomas Jefferson. And here is Adams talking about his starting pitcher.
It's kind of an interesting point. We're trying to make sure that he gets through it, but at the same time, letting him work through it himself. Sometimes, some guys are quick to pull guys, but I think with Uzziah, we've had those conversations where, he's mentally strong enough to where he can kind of lock back in, reset. And it was his game today. It was his inning to finish. So just seeing, him work through that was very impressive to me.
As far as hitters go for Thomas Jefferson, Kingston Edwards was fantastic. He goes 2 for 2, picks up a triple, a 3-run triple, and a base hit, and was intentionally walked in his final at-bat of the game. He's a 4-year varsity player for Thomas Jefferson. He's been through the depths of this program. He's been at the highs of this program. And here's Adams talking about his captain and his shortstop and the future Pierce College baseball player.
Thing to watch. Like every year, he gets percentage better. Watching him get bigger, stronger, faster, and now hitting the ball with authority. I'm excited for him at Pierce next year, and it's really fun to watch him. He's a spark plug. You know, he gets all the guys going in the dugout. He's the first guy to give everyone some love when he shows up. Like he's a big part of our culture and what we do here.
Thomas Jefferson's offense was rolling, but Federal Way was stingy at the plate. Federal Way put up a run in the 3rd and the 6th. Thomas Jefferson put up 2 in the 1st and 5 in the 2nd inning to really find that separation, and added a run later in the game. Thomas Jefferson takes on Federal Way in Game 2 of this series on Monday. Todd Beamer for their next series, and then they finish with, as aforementioned, Auburn Mountain View. And they're right in the playoff mix. They're going to have to win some games, especially that Mountain View series is going to be huge, as it was last year, as Thomas Jefferson was able to get in the playoffs following that series win over Auburn Mountain View. And here's Edwards talking about what it takes to get into the postseason this year.
Just saying, when we get our reps, it builds trust in between us. So when we get into these games, when we get into these pressured situations, we just have trust in each other. We're a good brotherhood. So, and we work hard together too, so it's a good family. So
that'll do it for this episode of Around the Sound Sports. My name is Ben Ray. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Around the Sound Sports Pod, where we post clips from this podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube channel, and remember to subscribe to our paper as well on our websites at federalwaymirror.com, auburn-reporter.com, kentreporter.com, and rentonreporter.com. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for the continued support, and I'll see you around the sound.